on my website, it kind of explains like this is the but maybe everybody go there thinking they're going to get everything for free. So when you break off the countries into their these states into
have to
their
say. And maybe we can start getting some names together. Maybe we get some signatures together and living with people with the same ideologies. And there's nothing. Be honest. Now it was a party at one time. All right, what a great intro. Sarah, the producer of this show, put together that intro. It's really good. I like the music and everything. So it's show number 8 with Johnny the Chooch. Johnny the Chooch from Pennsylvania. The Chooch being Italian. The Chooch. So we're going to talk about what's a website that I put together. The main reason for this podcast. Yes, the 2 billionth podcast that is made in the world. I am 2 billion and number one. So I'm out here in Pennsylvania shooting the show. Today is actually May Day, May 1st of 2026. And, I put together a website and it's called the Ununited States of America. I don't believe for a while that the United States is the United States. I believe it's a real shit box. It's turning into a ridiculous soap opera, drama-driven country, and unfortunately, the people in the middle get squeezed every time. Every time. I've never seen it. I'm 60 years old. I've never seen division like this in this country. We were always at least 60-40, 70-30, 65-30 on issues. 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was more like 80-20, 70-30. And, but he kind of lived the life that we, Americans knew, and I knew as a kid. We went to work, you got up, you went to school, you got a job, you end up trying to get married, have kids, and things of that nature. So it's kind of a traditional life. I'm a traditionalist. I believe in traditional values. I do. I still believe in God, and I do believe that we have to have laws, and we do have to have a society that works with each other, and building and within that society, you build a life of educating yourself, getting a job, making money, having a family, hopefully having a family. That's not for everybody today, but that's the way it was when I was coming up. But it's okay. Today, as we're getting in 2026, everybody has different values and different ways of thinking and what we think is important. And that's fine. I've come to that conclusion. This show is not about who is right and who is wrong. What it is the problem is that we live in a country with a lot of different ideologies. Right now, ideologies with the two political parties don't match. Right? They don't match. So what it is causing a lot of friction in this country. And the reason I got this website together was because I believe America's finished. It's over. Rip up the Constitution, burn it down. It's finished. We're finished, man. I mean, there's no going back to where we were. If you're a traditionalist or whatever, and listen, the people that are not or that live alternative lives, are they wrong? I don't know. Maybe not. I really don't know right now what's wrong or right. We're going to get into some other shows with God and what's right and what's wrong, and who really knows? Nobody knows. But that's going to be a good show. So the division. So what is? I came up with a website, and there is a way to get out of this. There's a couple of ways. One, you know, all right. Let me get something straight. I think the government is the biggest hunk of shit that is running this country. Every politician to me is a scumbag, and it's all for one and one for all. And what it is the middle class people that are working and trying to hold on to some sort of traditional life is getting economically crushed, morally, ethically crushed. Laws, there's no laws that are protecting you. There's no policies or laws that are protecting you and your family. It's a mess that goes with the court systems and the way our court systems are. So being a really right now good person, somebody trying to live a normal life as we think, and that's another podcast, the word normal, to figure out what normal is. But let's just stick with traditional. Is getting crushed. And this website and this podcast is about more or less fighting back, like getting a petition together to anybody that wants to live a traditional life or be left alone or don't want to be you don't want to be run by scumbags and a government that is so deeply crooked. This is kind of where you can go. You can sign up. You can email me. We can petition up and see how many people we can get that feel the same way I did. It's all done. We need to get rid of everybody. There's a couple of ways you can do that. I mean, of course, one, there's a revolt, which we're going to try not to do. Two, there's civil war, right? I mean, it looks like it's getting crazy. So that's a possibility at some point. Three, there's martial law. If this president has any balls, do martial law. Let's figure it out. Let everybody go back into their neutral corners and come out swinging. We'll figure out how the country's going to be run and what this continent's going to be like for the next 100 years. We can do that. But my suggestion is if you read my website, if you go to uuamericans.com, you can look at my website, and basically the plan is to use the Fifth Amendment, the fifth article, not amendment, article, the fifth article, Constitution, where you can use a convention of states, which is 33 states, or 3/4 of the states can adapt an article or an amendment or to change the Constitution. Which I don't believe in anymore. But if we got to go that route, we got to go that route, right? So they could come up with 33 states can come up with an amendment or article to change the Constitution. And my suggestion is let states break away from the Union. Put an article in the Constitution where states can break away from the Constitution and be their own country. Hopefully one by one would do that. I mean, maybe three would get together, the New England states, and then, there's maybe some in the middle of the country, maybe a couple of southern states. But what I'm saying is break up, divide the country, let people make their own countries, as Europe is. Consider New Europe, right? We have New York, we have New Jersey, you have New Mexico, right? A couple of New England, we have the New England states. So let's call it New Europe. Let's call it New Europe. Let people segregate into these new madely countries within the northern continent, call it New Europe, and let's be on our way and let people live amongst people that have different ideologies. There's another reason why this is good is that our government is so deep, so crooked, and there's just too many. It's too big. It's too massive. The fraud is obscene, absurd. Nobody's going to control it. One guy, a group of people. It really just needs to be dismantled. The existence of humans are so corrupt. Not us, not everybody, but people that there's lots of people that like to have authority and run people's lives and steal and commit fraud. Again, I say the word fraud because that's going to come up. It's been in the news a lot, fraud. And so this is a way to let people break the government down. You can have your own little country, your own little government. It's easier to operate. It's easier to maintain smaller and smaller populations because this government has basically ruined themselves. Um, so oh, real quick, I want to mention actually Sarah, who produces this show. If you go to, as you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen now, but I say it's www.xlnethub.com. It's at the bottom there. You can go see her other show. She produces other shows, and this show is on her network. And then you can go at the XL Network, which is more like social media. Okay, you can go to that, check her out. Again, check out some other shows she has. All right, so I kind of explained what I'm doing here. Please go to uuamericans.com. Please put in your comment. Let's petition. Let's get enough people to sign, and let's go to somebody that's listening and say, free us from all your nonsense and crap and ridiculous fighting back and forth. Back. I mean, it's this back. This one says this. This one says that. It's a game. It's a game, and they're scamming everybody. Okay, it's a big second scam. Everybody's getting their kickbacks. Everybody's getting lobbyist money, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. Believe me, these people don't hate each other. They love what they're doing, and they're trying to grab attention of certain sides of people, and having people not like each other, and squirm and go back and forth and have arguments and everything under the sun. So they're creating conflict, confusion, and it's wrong. We need to get rid of the American government. We need to break the country up. It's 250 years old. Every country goes through revolts and changes. It's time for this country to go through a change. Let's do it. Right. So, just a couple of things. I'll bring up a couple of things as far as like news and stuff like that. Listen, I always shoot the show every once in a while, so there might be a little bit of old news thrown in there. But like we have this Jimmy Kimmel thing. Yeah, Jimmy. Listen, there you go. I mean, one show talks about one thing, then you go on the View. The View talks about the same thing, and then you go to Fox, and you go to here. Listen, the media is horrible, just as bad. The media is putting gasoline on this situation, and you got to stop watching them. You got to stop listening to them. Absolutely absurd. So that shows another division in the country is the media, and have somebody like him, especially the way he talks. I mean, just not good. It's just not good for the country. We were talking about some fraud up in Minnesota and California, and listen, that's not the only fraud that's going on. It's going on through the whole government system, and that's why nobody goes to jail. Nobody will ever go to jail over this. They're missing $50 billion here, 90 billion here, 100 billion here. It'll never go away. Even this president, he'll never do it. They'll never do it because he's stepping on too many toes. There's too many people getting kickbacks. It's not going to happen. All the money from these taxpayers are lost. It's gone. And they're never going to throw anybody out of the country. I mean, we had Congress vote on that. 9 Republicans voted for Haitians to stay here, even though they're supposed to go back. And the Somalis with the fraud, they're not sending anybody back. Nobody's going to jail. So it's over. It's over. Nobody abides by laws, rules. Nobody makes anybody pay the price for what they do. That's where, except the middle class people who pay the price of paying taxes every day, every week, every month. It's absolutely absurd. What I do want to say also, here's another thing. Blue Sky. That's funny. I didn't do this. Something new. Blue Skies is a liberal app like X. So here we go. We're even splitting them. Now we even got a liberal app, and X is more or less a conservative app. So it's all split. Everything is split. All the elections, we talked about this in the last show. Nobody wins by a landslide. It's almost even, Steven. Half the country thinks one way, half the other country thinks the other way. Real quick, we'll talk something about obviously Iran. All right, so we're talking about the war in Iran. And last show we were talking about capitalism, and I am there's a couple of notes. I actually wrote a blog about capitalism. I'm going to name a couple of blogs that I wrote. Check them out on my website. Iran, listen, is it a good thing? Sure, I think they're pesky people and they want to kill everybody. So yeah, I mean, maybe something had to be done. Absolutely. Um, with our president now, there's some things I agree with. That you have to be safe and the national security and things of that nature. I believe that, sure, especially with the with people wanting nuclear bombs and that nature and blowing up people. Yeah, we do got to figure that out. We got to keep that under wraps. Without that, we got to keep our borders set. One thing he does, I believe, that's a plus if you're in the market. Markets are always good with this guy. He's a billionaire. He's never going to lose money. And he gets a lot of money from internationally investing in this country. So, those are some things that, doesn't work for everybody, but it's things that keep the country safe and keep the economy running, which we need to do. I don't believe that the interior of the country, food, gas and things like that, I don't believe that's worked on. Homes, hey, listen, healthcare, homes, energy and food, right? Those four things, man. Those four things, and I don't think they've really been touched on yet. Listen, gas is like four something a gallon. I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand. I'm going to tell you my take on this with the Iran and the gas thing is that I think this time around, I think he's getting his cut. He's going to get his cut out of it this time. And I guess that's okay. He almost got killed like 3 times, and he'll never be able to walk outside anywhere for the rest of his life, and his family is always going to have to be secure. I get it. You give up a lot, you're giving up a lot, even though half the country voted for him and likes him, but the other half doesn't, and they're making that obvious. So he's getting his cut. Listen, we're supposed to be drilling our own oil. We went to Venezuela and basically took over Venezuela. We should be stealing all that oil, and now we're going to steal all this oil, right? So there's oil all over the place. He even said it. It's sitting out in the boats. It's not even coming in. So gas is raising. What I think's happening is the oil companies, I don't know if you remember, they all went to the White House. They were all sitting around the table. Listen, you all cut a deal. And what I think is they knew they were going to do this. This Iran thing was going to happen in Venezuela. And they're going to deal. Everybody's going to get their share. Everybody's going to make the millions and millions and millions and more that they make already. And I think he's going to take his cut this time. And what that leaves us with is paying for the war right now, and lining the pockets of all the gas companies and politicians, whoever's getting their envelope at the end of the month, right? But what's going to do? It's going to come down. It's going to come down before the midterms. It's actually probably going to come down for the summer because when people start traveling, the kids get out of school. He's going to drop the bomb. He's going to let all the oil come in. It's going to flow. He's going to sell. It's going to be cheap. So everybody's is ravaging it now. Everybody's raking it in now because he knows it's got to come down before the midterms, and it'll probably come in the summer because you can't go into the midterms at $5 a gas. It's not going to happen. I know that the market does great and this and that, but not everybody's in the market, and not everybody's making money like that. People are working paycheck to paycheck, and so I think he needs to get on other things like necessities and start bringing this down. So regular people aren't getting washed out economically. That's my little bit on Iran and the gas thing. Don't believe it should be that high, and there's probably no reason for it to be that high. Epstein's. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Epstein files. Now we haven't heard anything about it. You know why I don't hear anything about it? Because probably all the rhino politicians, all his friends, all the conservatives, along with the Democrats, they were all there. They're all in on it. They're not going to eat each other, man. They're not going to eat each other. They're not. They're not. It's a racket. This is a racket. This is the biggest mob crime syndicate in the world is the American government, and they're not going to do it, man. At some point, all mobsters, all gangsters, somehow they cool out, they calm down because nobody at the end of the day really doesn't want to get killed. So instead of getting killed, politicians don't want to go to jail, right? Don't want to go to jail. So they're not going to eat each other. Everybody's making a loads of money. Everybody was on Epstein Island, and nobody's really going to say anything, right? It's a bunch of hooey. So that's a thing of the past, right? So it's only people like you and I out there who's regular guy, working guy. If you roll through a stop sign, they want to take everything from you. Don't pay your IRS bill. You owe money. I owe money. I owe money. Yeah, I better pay it on time. They'll start freezing my accounts and everything like that. So this thing that we're living with is horrible. We still, I think, are free. I think we still can, but I'll tell you, protecting yourself and your monies and watching your monies just fly away tax wise and for things that are so expensive and protecting yourself. You protect yourself and you end up in jail, because you protected your home. The policies, the laws do not help the regular person. It doesn't, and that's why people don't get married as much and have babies as much, and that's why people can't afford homes, things of that nature. So, uuamericans.com. Let's petition. Let's start breaking up the country. It's over. Let's get into something else. Oh, real quick, let's talk about gerrymandering. There you go. So they're talking about gerrymandering, and they're trying to fix the states so you get more congressional seats, and then people can run the country, right? So there's more Congress people for the Dems or the Republicans, and they can run the seats. So that's just another way of you're already doing what I said on this website. You're already trying to set up states where people of certain types, races, whatever, have more influence in elections. So you're already doing it. We're already segregated, man. It's already a segregated thing. Let's face it. States could care less about other states. People could care less about who's living on one side of the country or another. And the problem is we have these people in the government, making decisions on both sides of the country, and then everybody in the middle is fucking paying for everything. So it's absolutely absurd. Bloated government, fraud-stricken narcissists, scumbags that run this country. Each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. One thing about this show, all of them are scumbags. Okay, and that's why we should break up the country and start anew. So the gerrymandering thing is a big deal. A Supreme Court let down that you can't do it based on race, which is good, right? We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't gerrymander states based on race. That's not what we're supposed to do. All right, but hey, some people think it's okay on this show. It's okay if you think it's okay. I don't know if I really agree with it, but it's okay. So that's why, if you think there's certain ways you should live, ideologies different than that, that's why I say break it up. Let states break themselves up and go and make their own countries. So all right. So it's kind of going down through the news a little bit. Yeah, the Haitians. Okay. Uh, you know. let me see. We're going to talk about that yet, but I do want to give the definition of capitalism while I'm here. I have to put my glasses on, so I do want to. What I want to mention is I have a bunch of blogs on the website. The most recent are at the top if you go at the bottom, and the ones that I wrote uh, prior are at the bottom. So all the way up. So the most recent at the top. Here's just some of the blogs that I did. Let's start from the top. The media, the other scumbags. That's a blog. The media, the other scumbags. Which at the bottom, which was one of my first ones, which is the scumbag, the American politician. So I didn't get to the media, the other scumbags until recently. But so then we'll go down. So we have Abraham Lincoln versus Trump. Let's call a spade a spade. We don't owe anybody anything. Religion, a thing of the past. That's going to be a great podcast. Prayers and policies don't work. Ask Lincoln Riley and her family. Prayers and policies don't work. We're going to get into that. Segregation is good. This is what this website is. Segregation isn't about just colors and religion. It's about really, to me, ideology, and segregating based on your ideology and how you think and you want to live your life is very important right now. It could save a civil war or a revolt or just martial law system, a apocalyptic sort of way of life. We need to split the country up. The margin is interesting. That's good. It's about how far down people down here, bottom feeders, people that are how they're going to catch up to the educated and the people that have privilege, and privilege is another one. So we're going to talk about privilege. That's the margin. That's important. The court system. Let's use AI. Judges, scumbags, all of them. Ridiculous. We're done. We just don't have ethics and morals like the forefathers thought. Rip up the Constitution, burn it, make Washington, D.C., the White House a memorial or a museum. You need to start over. But, starting over for me would be breaking up the country. Starting over until then would having a new constitution, a new way of life. But nobody will ever agree on anything. So it's a big free-for-all. Privilege is another blog. I said the scumbag the American politician. And then I have immigration, a hot topic, parts 1 and 2. And of course, I think the very, very first one is a blog about why I even started this. So you can read into that. I have like 2 minutes maybe. So real quick, to follow up on the last show with capitalism, real quick. A definition of capitalism, right? An economic system based on private ownership, based on private ownership of the means of production. Sorry about that. Means of production. Where are we? Where prices, production, and distribution of goods are determined by competition in a free market with a primary goal of generating profit. Okay, that's great when you want to go buy a pair of sneakers, or maybe a bicycle, or something from Walmart, some towels or something like that. Yeah, there's free market. You can Target, Walmart, Amazon, whatever. Amazon regulates right now most of the non-necessity stuff. They set the prices, and they're the ones that you either go for them for the cheaper one, or sometimes you can find it in the stores for cheaper, or maybe just the same, and you can go pick up the color you want, or whatever you want right down the street. So yeah, there is still capitalism within the lower end of the spectrum. There is no capitalism as far as the gas companies, the Wi-Fi, food, the necessities in life. There is no capitalism. because no one is the big word in that definition was competition. There's no competition. They don't want to compete with each other. Nobody wants to go lower. So they're all setting the prices high, okay? And they're all making money. And they know eventually you're going to go to their gas station, or you're going to get their Wi-Fi or their cell phone or their eggs or whatever the case may be. The only way you're going to do that is the government has to regulate the necessities. They'd have to regulate Wi-Fi or create Wi-Fi as a government Wi-Fi on a cheaper level. That's how they would regulate housing by creating more housing for working people, maybe they're under a certain income, and giving people a chance to have a house. Maybe the market will come down a little bit if they created housing. Maybe some of the other houses will come down. I don't know. There's so many people that are looking for houses and not enough houses. So that honestly, if you build houses from a government standpoint, it wouldn't even affect the market anyway, right? Because if you built basic houses on a government level with low interest rates or low loans or whatever, you can give working people a chance. It's not going to affect the higher markets because people with money are going to buy those houses anyway. Do we need to regulate food? Have a government milk. Start a dairy. USA Dairy. Milk is stupid, getting stupid crazy. Do a dairy farm. Government, spread it out. Charge people 50 cents for a gallon of milk. I guarantee if you regulate and you get that going, other dairy companies will come down, right? There's ways to regulate through the government or just regulate. You want to sell a gallon of gas in America, it's $2, and it's going to be that way for the next 5 years. So there's things to do it. You can do it. They don't want to do it because there's too many kickbacks. Even this president, he's not going to do it because all his buddies and everybody that involved and puts into the system, into the machine, the government machine pays. They want their kickback. They want their dividends. They want people to keep paying. So it's not going to happen. We're a lost cause. America is ruthless. The American government is ruthless. They learned from all the gangsters and all the other criminals over the years. Now they do it the best. So it's about my time. I'm 2 minutes over, actually. Sorry about that, Sarah. I usually go around a half an hour. This is Johnny the Chooch. Go to www.thexlnethub.com. Watch the show. Watch Sarah's other shows. You can go to uuamericans.com. Let me know how you feel. Let's get the petition going. And you can go to the XL Network. That's a social media outlets for Sarah and whatever she has going on there. Okay, this was fun. Hopefully we'll get in another show next week. This is John the Chooch from Pennsylvania on 5/1/26. And hopefully we'll talk soon and we'll try to figure out the problems of America together. See you later, guys.